It's going.
Okay.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order at 6:07. Appreciate everybody being here. Hope everybody's doing well. We have Nancy, you've got attendance. You're good.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we have minutes from September 6th.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Ike, seconded by Lois. Any additions, amendments, deletions, or otherwise?
With
Don't see any hands, so I see Liz has just joined us. Thank you, Liz. All right. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any nays? All right, motion passes. Thank you for that. Let's go to new business and we'll go right to Downs. We've got Scott and John Downs, and I thought I saw, did I see Tom as well? Tom's
Yes.
here.
Yeah, he's
Hey
here.
guys, you're
Hey,
on.
Mark. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen. Can everyone see that okay?
We're good.
Okay. Project update. So all the letter of authorizations for every subcontract has been sent out. We currently have contracts that are out to the subs, and we're still in the midst of writing them. So that is ongoing. Permit status, we're very close to getting our building permit application, but the building inspector has allowed us to move forward with some activities on site, which we will talk about. The application for the demolition permit was in. Building inspector asked that it be broken up to 2 demolition permits because there's 2 separate buildings with the Riley building and the existing library, and that has been completed. So that is looking really good. And the flood management cert is still under review by DEEP. We've requested some additional permissions to continue with some up and coming work that's coming next week with abatement activities that we are gearing up for. So we are just patiently waiting on response from DEEP in regards to some of the work that we want to start doing. For construction schedule, if you haven't driven by the library, you'll see there was a bit of activity today. The temporary fence material was dropped off yesterday, and they have started work as of this morning, and will continue on into next week. There's a lot of fence to put up. We're going to look to start erosion control measures. The site contractor was on site looking at sill fence and where it's going to go. We do have some clearing and grubbing that will have to occur to get some of it in. And the trees were all posted for removal this past Monday. So we've got a little waiting period before those trees come down, but within in about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, we'll be able to start taking those down after the waiting period. So that is going to be on the schedule as well. And then in regards to the building itself, we've disconnected some utilities like the gas. Our abatement notice is up as of this
They were
week.
asking for a confirmation number to cancel, but that isn't.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Okay.
Dr. Brian, yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Thanks. Where was I? We've got notices out to the neighbors that, abatement activities are going to occur. And we have them on the schedule for next Wednesday to actually begin that work. And again, that is pending the DEEP permit, and that we can continue on with at least work inside the building, not digging into the ground or taking any buildings down or anything, but just with the asbestos itself. But we're going to keep going forward like we can do it, and we're going to have a pre-installation meeting with the abatement contractor at the beginning of next week, also with the hygienist from GeoQuest, and keep moving where we can.
Okay. Questions for Scott? Lois.
Scott, I just want to confirm that one of the large trees in the front of the building is remaining, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's the other item that we'll need to be doing along with the erosion control and clearing and grubbing is protecting the trees. There's a specific drawing, Lois, that actually has detailed tree protection that has to occur around those trees and root systems so that they don't get disturbed during construction. Yep.
Patrick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Scott. I just wanted to ask about the abatement steps and the asbestos. So could you tell us, like, is there asbestos throughout the library, or like where specifically will they be working to abate them?
Yeah, you're on all floors in certain areas of the building, and basically you're creating containments outside where they can shower and clean off when they're out of the building. So we have to build those. You have to build containments within the building for the rooms that do have asbestos that has to be abated. We have given the window report to Stanford Wrecking, who is the demo contractor. They have to review that. That's additional work that wasn't in their bid, and put a cost to that. So that's something that has to be reviewed. They've had that since last week. So they can continue with that work as well. But basically that's what you're doing initially, setting up containments and showers, and then the guys will come with their suits, go in there and start taking apart items where the asbestos is and bagging it, and it goes into certain containers. And we will be reviewing with the owner manifests that have to be signed and before it can be taken away and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Nancy?
Well,
Yeah, Scott, the other large tree in front of the building was already noticed. So you're not redoing that one, are you?
we're not redoing any notices. We
Or
just,
any postings?
there was, not all of the postings were completed last.
Yes, I'm aware. It's just the other large one. I do remember that had been previously identified and there had been a sign posted.
Okay, I know one of those trees we're saving. I just don't recall which one without looking at the drawing at the moment, but
Right.
yeah.
The one next to it is the one that I believe there was already on sign.
Yeah. There was a few trees that were posted that have been posted for some time.
Okay.
It was the other week, actually other week and a half, we noticed that the rest weren't posted, but the tree warden was away on vacation. I believe DPW lent a little bit of a hand in that, but they were all finally posted this past Monday. So we've got to wait a period of about 2 weeks before they can be taken down.
There were some plantings that the beautification committee wanted to remove, and I think they were gonna first coordinate with DPW, but I want to make sure that really does get coordinated. Glenn, have they been in touch with you?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I've been coordinating that. We're gonna try and transplant some of those items. Hopefully, Scott, if we can get there next week, will we still be able to get on site either Monday or Tuesday for that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just tell Jason not to step on him.
But that's our goal right now, is either Monday or Tuesday. I'm trying to coordinate that with our crew chief, who's taking over for the foreman who's on vacation. Our tree warden was on vacation, so there's some missing personnel, but we have that covered.
Yeah, just coordinate with Jason. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for that. Any other questions for Scott? Okay. All right.
Thanks,
Anything
Mark.
else? Anything else, Scott? You good?
No, that's all I have at this time.
Okay. Well, it was great to see activity on site today. You know,
Feels good.
Fence posts are up. They haven't put the fence fabric out yet, but it's great. So thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's move to TSKP. We've got Jeff with us.
I got a couple of things here. Scott had talked about a little bit the DEP approval. We're all waiting for that. But Richard and Deanna conveyed to me that the inland wetlands, I guess it's Peter Costelli, is looking for a PDF set for him to review. It's regarding the transformer that was moved at the last minute, so he wants to see an updated set of drawings. And then we'll be making full-size Mylars for him, I guess, for his archive. And then the only other thing is, I think the state mod that we requested for the handicap parking spot that was outside, but now it's going to be in the garage, is within the state. I think somebody within there dropped the ball, so they pick it up and they're going to try to move it forward. So other than the 17 submittals I have in my inbox and a few RFIs, things are starting to roll here.
Is it actually something to be reviewed by inland wetlands, or is it just a submission of required documents?
Yeah, I think Peter just wanted to see the whole thing, right? The whole set. So he wants to see that and then sign off on that. And then we're going to make the Mylar. So I think what happens is he had an old set that didn't show that transformer position on the north side. So he wants to see that.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, I think those were needed before inland wetlands can sign off on the building permit.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Jeff, any report on McMahon tonight?
Nothing that I'm aware of. I know Richard's been looking into some different options. I think Deanna as well. So I haven't heard anything from them on that.
Okay, because I know we were hoping to hear something at this point, at least some preliminary things. You can let them know.
Okay.
Questions for Jeff? Don't see any hands. Okay, thank you. Let's go to Sean Vincent from
Yep.
Colliers. How you doing, Sean?
Good, how are you? Good evening, everyone. I have been out to the site, so I got to meet some of you face to face. It was good to see everybody not on Zoom. Nice to meet you guys. I've been updating the commissioning agent from Van Zelm with the updated construction schedule from Downs and the project directory he had asked for. So he is in the loop in that regard. And I met with Scott from Downs as well as their site super Jason to discuss the materials testing requirements and review the statement of special inspection. And I can present those costs now, or does that happen later in the meeting?
Oh, no, you can do that now.
Okay, I'll share my screen then. Let's see. Oops. Can you see my,
Yep, we're good.
Yep.
which, are you seeing the, I'm not seeing,
The summary sheet we're seeing.
you are, okay. That's good. So what you're looking at here is a summary. I've noted that the information comes from the state contract. So I referenced the state contract number as well as the expiration date. There's 4 different companies listed on the state contract, and this is their cumulative total, as well as there's a column here for their MBE affiliation, and 2 of the companies, Tescon and Tri-State, meet that requirement, and Tri-State came in with the lowest cumulative total. And let me know if I go too fast or if I get too far in the weeds on you guys. The next sheets are the details, and all this information is taken directly from the state contract, which is attached to this document if anyone wants to dig into that. These 2 columns, the numbers reference the state contracts for the type of services offered, and the quantities were what Downs and we came up with in terms of the construction schedule, which was referenced this date. The other item referenced is the statement of special inspection. So we took those item numbers right from that. So for example, the concrete section, item 8 is listed right here. Unit prices are listed as well as all the estimate totals. That's where the grand total comes from, this page here. I know, Scott, you didn't get much time to review this. I had just sent it to you. Did you have a chance to look at it, or did you have any comments that were glaring?
I did not get a lot of chances to review it.
It should be
Yep.
fairly close to what we discussed. in our
Yeah,
meeting.
I'm assuming it was, yep.
And I also wanted to point out that this is not a firm bid. These are just costs, and you will be charged, the town would be charged the actual unit cost or hourly cost. There's breakdowns based on hour, half day, or full day cost for a lot of the items.
Yeah, and I'd like to note, Sean, that we make the testing agent sign in when they come to the site and sign out, so that way we can track with you that they were on for a half day, or they were on, so
Right.
to ensure that everyone's getting charged accordingly, correctly.
And I know that Jason stressed he'll try to be efficient with calling for the tests. In other words, if we can get more than one type of testing done in one type of day, we will, where we can.
Correct.
Or
Yep.
Downs will where they can.
Sean, I did have an opportunity to look at the state contracts and the 4 bidders, and assuming that everything is accurate with the inspections that we would need. I know from a procurement point of view, I was satisfied that the lowest bidder, which was, I think, 20,198 based on the estimates, was fine with me from procurement point of view.
So just to be clear, these numbers on the summary sheet are estimates utilizing the unit prices and quantities that you and Downs developed as an estimate of what's going to be needed for the
Yes.
job, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and if I recall, so that number's approximately 20,000 with the lowest. If I recall, I seem to think we have more than that in our budget for this line item, and significantly more, which is good. I'm not sure what that number really is. Scott, do you know what we're showing in our on the cost estimate for that?
You're muted, Scott.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. It does seem low for a job of this size, just from experience, but I do trust the work that you've done, to get us to this point. While Scott is looking, so Sean, are you recommending we move ahead with Tri-State?
Yes, that's our recommendation. They meet the requirements and the MBE, and they are the low bidder. But if you want us to go through and take another look at the quantities based on the budget amount, I don't know the process in terms of if we need to extend the PO later in the project.
Yes, we would be able to extend the PO later in the project.
Okay.
If I can weigh in here, if we're within budget, at least now, this was one of the items that I had on for approval of purchases with the optimism that DECD was going to release us to be able to commence construction activities so that we could get them on board and not have to wait an additional 2 weeks for this approval.
Okay, I see in the total project budget that there's $50,000 set aside for testing.
Okay,
That actually might be, I don't know, that might be a little high, but that's what you got from what I can tell.
right. Well, it's gonna be what it needs to be. I mean,
Well, yeah, you've
as
got
you go
fluff there.
through-
You
as
got
you go
fluff
through
there.
the job, you try and be as efficient as you can, but certain things need to be tested at certain times, so.
Yeah, you've got
Um,
some room there.
And we'll monitor as it goes along, so it won't be a scramble. If we get to a certain point, we'll be able to ask in plenty of time if we need to extend the PO.
Right,
Yeah.
right. How about a motion from somebody to accept or to engage Tri-State as our testing materials consultant.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Ike. Do we have a second?
Second,
Second from Lois, and Lois, I see you have your hand up as well.
yeah, I have a question about the minority business. There's been a lot of discussion in Bloomfield that this project will, not only will it make sure that minority businesses are recognized and incorporated, but they will be people from Bloomfield. Are you tracking that at all?
That's for Scott.
Yeah, we'll be tracking that with certified payroll, but also with pre-job meetings as well. And in Tri-State, as Sean mentioned, is a MWB company, and I know them well. They're a reputable company. But yeah, we already have subcontractors, like for abatement, for instance, Lois Brothers. They're a minority company that the subcontractor, the demo subcontractor, is using. So yes, we're all over that in accordance with the scopes of work that we had every subcontractor follow and how they had to bid the job.
But in addition to the minority aspect and women's business, specifically, are they having people from Bloomfield?
Yeah, we actually had a resident today working with EDI for the temporary fence. It can be a little tough pulling residents from Bloomfield depending on what they do. You know, the unions have to come up with that and bring that to the table. So far they have with the fence contractor. We'll be meeting with them next week in regards to abatement activities on what can be done there with Bloomfield and Hartford county residents as well. Those were the two requirements.
Just
Scott.
make sure that they know that the building committee is interested
Yeah,
in how this works out for Bloomfield.
no doubt. Will do.
Scott, you can also add that as part of our monthly report, we're going to provide the EEO and the workforce tracking, so everybody will be advised of the percentages on a real-time basis as we start the job.
No problem.
Okay, discussion on the motion. All in favor of engaging Tri-State as our testing lab, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, thanks, Sean.
Welcome.
Anything else for us?
That's all from me.
Okay, thanks. Questions for Sean? No, okay. Nancy.
Well,
Purchase
we've done the one purchase. Oh, Patrick has his hand up.
Oh,
Sorry, I
Patrick.
couldn't hit that thing quick enough. Just one quick follow-up for Sean. I just wanted to know about the swing space. If our electrical lighting, emergency lighting, is that completed?
Oh, I forgot to follow up on that. But
I think Glenn might be able
Glenn
to
is
help
on the
us out with
call.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, Patrick, I'm waiting
Yep.
on Anderson Electric to submit the photometric that the building official has required for that job. I was told by Friday, we'll have the design paperwork, the spec sheet, and the photometric in the hands of the building official. So that's what I'm hoping for. Once he has those documents, he'll just have to go around and verify that according to the photometric, the lights are installed in place according to that scale drawing. And at that point, we would be issued a PO, or sorry, CO.
Yeah, great.
Right.
Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, thanks again, Glenn, for all your help on that. Okay,
Chair, I had a question too.
sure, go ahead, Elizabeth.
I just wanted to know in terms of the timeline for Prosser to be completed, are we still looking at late 2024?
Late 2020. I don't think we've been looking at that for, I think the last thing we saw, well, let's Scott, go ahead.
No, we're in 25. You're in
Okay.
February of 25.
February 2025. Thank you.
Yeah, mid-February, yep.
Okay. All right, back to Nancy.
All right, so we've already done the purchases, so I'll move on to the approval of invoices. And I'm gonna table for now the Colliers one. We have some changes to work on for that. So the only one I have for tonight is for GeoQuest invoice number 9590 for environmental consulting on the project in the amount of $2,115.75.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Wright,
Second.
second by Liz. Thank you. Questions, comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 That was unanimous. Any nays? I saw everybody. All right, motion passes. Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's all we got. Okay, Nancy, thank you. So next meetings are, somebody was commenting how it's already September. Well, our next meetings are October. How about that? October 4th and 18th. And comments from the committee. We're good. No, Elizabeth?
I just wanted to say how exciting it is to see things happening at Prosser. It was such, I'm looking forward to the community seeing that as well. I think we're going to have a lot of happy residents.
Can I just say something?
Sure, go ahead, Jeff.
Some time ago, I was teaching the ACE program there at the Bloomfield High School, and there was a young student who was working there, and he actually went on and graduated from Wentworth. He's now in our office. So I just talked to him about maybe coming to the site once in a while and learning more about his hometown and building this library. So I'm pretty excited. His name is Josh Williams. So it's going to be fun.
I believe that's great. That's I believe that Downs, I know with the community center did involve students, and anyone who was interested, you know, who was in Bloomfield school system to come and tour the site during construction.
What's nice is that ACE program, you never know if you're going to touch any souls, but he was one, and he's in our office now, so he's doing fine. So I would like him to come and see this thing evolve.
Get him a hard hat. There we go. Okay. Other comments from committee members? Sorry, I got the wrong screen up. I know, no hands. Patrick.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick thing, maybe Elizabeth could answer this. Elizabeth, the only things I've been hearing about the swing space is about the fact that there's not enough signage to get people to where they're supposed to go. I know you were working on that. And the only other thing I've heard is that people have been complaining a bit about actually getting into the library itself. They have to be escorted, they have to call. I was just wondering if that's something that could be fixed or changed, or I don't know.
So we are continuing to develop our relationship with the management company at the atrium space. And yes, we have a system where we have a greeter at the door, and you're not really escorted up, but you do have to go through a gate once you come and you identify that you are visiting Bloomfield Public Library. And it is as seamless as that can be. And I think that once you go through it one time, it's not so bad. And I do want to invite everybody on the library building committee to come and go through the process so that they can see. So when residents talk to them about it, you kind of have a feel for how that flow works. As for the signage, we were able to put signage on the atrium's property. We were unable to put signage on the rest of the property, and all of the businesses have to agree to allow signage. And if you go on that property, you see that it's almost intentionally vague, small signage, but we are trying to work through that. We have all the signs ready to go once we get permission, and we're trying to be out in the community more. So for instance, yesterday for National Voter Registration Day, we were at Stop and Shop. We tabled for 4 hours there, and it was just telling people where we are, how to find us. We were at the Senior Expo at 330 Park Avenue yesterday, same thing. So we're trying to do more pop-up related items so we can just get that information out to the community. But we are asking the people in the know on the council, on the library board, on the library building committee to help us get word out about that. So Patrick, thank you for bringing that up. We do think that once residents get past that little bit of a hurdle, they're going to really like the space. People keep asking us if we're going to have a permanent location there. So the public is liking what they're seeing. And ditto for 330 Park. We had our first couple shifts of full capacity of people using the computers in that space. So people are finding out and word is spreading. But again, we still need help getting that word out. So
Okay.
thank you. And you
Thank
can
you.
get directions on our website. And again, as a reminder, the buses go directly in front of the door. So that's another thing. We're finally starting to see a couple people trickle through on the bus system. And so that's a great thing as well. So thank you.
That's great. Thanks for those updates. I appreciate that. Really sounds good.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks, Patrick. Anybody else for the comments, questions? Okay, let's go to, I see we do have members of the public here. Any hands up, Nancy?
Anyone from the public wishes to speak, you can raise your virtual hand. And there are no hand. Oops, here we go. Yay. Linda Pagani.
Thank you. Sorry for taking so long. Yeah, I just wanted to say I've been to the BPL atrium several times. It's really it's really not a hardship when you go through the entry process. I think in the very first days, someone had to come and get you, but it's so easy. You just get a lanyard, you put it around your neck, and you have to be let in because it's a very secure building, but it's just you're let in through a turnstile. And then coming out, you just come out on your own. So I'm not sure what people are talking about when they say there's some obstacles, because it's just pretty seamless. And it's great, it's beautiful, beautiful surroundings, and just really commend everyone who played a role in getting it set up. Thank you.
Thanks,
Linda. Thanks, Linda. It's a great journey through the atrium. Nice experience. Any other hands?
No other hands.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for attending. Appreciate it, and look forward to more progress. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Second by Liz. Liz, thank you. And all in favor? We say aye.
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 Okay, we are adjourned. And thank you again, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.